This episode made me cry, and I think it was the best one so far, so let me explain why. So the episode starts off with Yang riding her bike with the bandit guy. Obviously, he set her up, and the guy shoots fire at her, but Babe blocked it with her arm. How cool is that? We learned she has a gun in her robot arm now, seeing as she lost her second Ember, Silica. Were they both named that, or was one named Ember and the other one was named Silica? Well, she lost Silica when fighting Adam during the fall, so it's great she has a new gun that she can use. And this one's more hidden, and it's great for sneaking, and it's so cool. Yang kicks their asses. Like, she's more precise and fluent, I want to say. When she finishes them off, her arm starts shaking again, but she's a lot calmer about it than she was before, so she calms down fairly quickly. The bandit's like, when Raven finds out what you did, you're dead. And Yang's like, I mean, probably not, I'm her daughter. And the bandit's like, well, I'm dead. And so I saw that as they've obviously heard about Yang, so Raven must have said something about her, like, don't hurt her, don't kill her, something along those lines, maybe. At least to show that she cares enough for this guy to think he's dead for fighting Yang in the first place. Switching to Team Ranger, Ruby and Oscar are practicing hand-to-hand, and it's the most adorable thing. Like, goddamn, Ruby is so cute. Ruby punches him in the face. I don't think I've seen a cuter reaction to someone punching somebody else in the face. Ozpin takes over and kicks Ruby's ass. Oscar grows really tired afterwards because Ozpin very easily uses Oscar's aura to help with the fight, something that Oscar is not really able to do. Ren explains that he needs to practice using his aura more because that way it'll become more second nature for him to do so. Then he can slowly build up to figuring out his semblance. John gets sad because he hasn't figured out his semblance yet, and how Ren explained it, it's obvious why John hasn't figured it out yet, at least in my perspective. John only first learnt about Aura's existence in Volume 1 with Pyrrha, and even then he didn't unlock it, Pyrrha did it for him. He's only had approximately a year and a half, maybe, to master it, where other people have been using it since they were children. Semblances can also be unlocked through any means, so there's no limit here. Ren's was unlocked during the attack on Kuroyuri through an intense amount of stress. Ruby's popped up one day during training, and Nora's, well,
struck by lightning, didn't die. Crazy Thursday.
It flashes back to Yang being escorted through the bandits' camp to Raven's tent. Everyone's so distracted by her entrance that the guards in front of Weiss's cage decide to run off and watch, which gives Weiss enough time to try to break out with Nighty. We get to see Raven for the first time this volume, and she's praising Yang for finding her, saying she showed determination and strength in doing so. Raven was so impressed, she was going to allow Yang to stay for the night, have a whole cooked meal and everything, until Yang was like, yeah, by the way, I don't want to see you, I want you to take me to RWBY. Apparently, Tai told Yang how Raven's semblance works, which we finally get to learn what her semblance is. No, it's not being able to turn into a bird, oddly enough. Apparently she can bond to certain people, whether it's a physical marking or it's just an emotional attachment, I don't know. And she can make portals straight to them, like we saw her do in the second volume with Yang. She has one for Tai, Yang, and much to Yang's advantage, Crow. How it's explained sounds like it's a one-way ticket, seeing as Yang says, it takes you straight to them. So how would she get back to the camp? My theory is that she also has a bond with Vernal, so this way she's able to come back to the camp. It's very obvious through this episode that they have a sort of platonic relationship going. Especially after seeing Vernal's reaction when Yang disrespects Raven. Yang is pissed that Raven won't help, and in a very attractive way, she punched a guy across the camp. Weiss and Yang make eye contact with each other, they're like, oh damn, hi. And Weiss is like, well, being subtle is out of the question. And Nighty makes itself bigger and busts through the cage. And then there's this scene.
Your mom kidnapped me? You kidnapped her?
Which I just love. They're about to fight all the bandits when Vernal uses her maiden powers to summon lightning, for crying out loud. Weiss gets Meertenester back. Raven uses her mom voice.
You two, in my tent. Now.
Then says she's going to tell them the truth about, I assume, Ozpin and Crow. Then we get this cute scene.
Sorry about that. I missed you so much. I missed you too.
And I was gonna throw in the clips of a live reaction, but I was crying. The fact that Weiss, shut up, don't touch me, Schnee, is a hugger makes me so happy. She's just so touched and love deprived. And she missed Yang and her team so much, because they just love her so much. I'm gonna cry. Also, the soundtrack over this was Home. That song they played when RWBY wrote the letter at the end of Volume 4. And the fact that they played Home when Weiss hugged Yang made me cry more because Yang and the rest of Team RWBY is home to her. And like, oh. There was no Blake in this episode, obviously. There really wasn't any place for her here. Much like the argument I made about Yang in the last recap, she isn't doing anything of importance right now. She's probably making plans or packing for a journey or something, and frankly, we don't really need to see it. RWBY's practicing hand-to-hand, and auras and semblances are explained a bit more. I don't think I need to repeat that, I think I explained it well enough the first time. Weiss and Yang found each other, to which I cried. I cried a lot. I also think I explained my feelings on that fairly well earlier on. Yang found her mother, and the fact that she found Raven just to find RWBY was hilarious to me. Even looked like Raven was a little annoyed by that fact. Also, let's talk about Raven's semblance really quick. I don't know if she's a bad mother or a good leader, or both. On one hand, she could have seen Yang at any time with her portals and spent a little time with her, and then shot off right back to camp. On the other hand, she didn't let personal matters take energy away from her commitments as the leader of a clan. Leaders sometimes have to make choices they don't like, and they sometimes need to distance themselves from family or friends to make sure they focus on what they need to do. I didn't say she was nice about it, I just said it's maybe what she had to do. Also, if my theory about Raven's portals being one way and her being bonded to Vernal is true, then pretty much half of Yang's childhood was gone before Raven had a way to portal back to the camp. Vernal disappeared a decade ago. 10 years. Yang is currently around 18 after the time skip. Yang would have been around 8 years old when Vernal was found, and maybe Raven didn't bond with her until a few years later. So let's say she bonded with her maybe around the time Yang turned 9 or 10, so that's 1 or 2 years. Raven, 1, had an obligation to her clan, and 2, probably figured Yang was old enough to take care of herself. Really, that's just my guess on that matter, and my way of trying to make Raven not that bad of a person. So I think that covers it. What were your guys' opinions on the episode? Do you agree with me about the Raven thing, or disagree? Tell me in the comments below. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, it really boosts my self-esteem. Please make sure to subscribe to see these every week. See you guys then.